Alright, so I'm going to show you how I put the power flow bagging unit on, or the grass catcher, whatever you want to call it. So this one is basically the same setup as the X758. The difference is the power flow that gets mounted to the deck is a little different because the deck design has changed. While I got it like this too, I'll probably go through and I'm just going to make sure everything is greased really well. And I pulled this cover off on this side here. We'll take a closer look at this cover here, and that's just a little bit of the grass that was stuck underneath here. So to get this cover off, all you have to do is pull up on it. The problem you have is if you don't have it in one of these grooves where this is, you won't get enough clearance to actually unhook it from the back here. So you make sure you get it up in there, and then you gotta kind of wiggle it to get it. And then you can see there's a bunch of grass still packed in that the spindle there and the cavities. I wish they could do something different with that. There's also grass packed up in the top of the pulley there where the grease fitting is, or grease zert. So that's why I take the one off on the other side there. I don't know, I might take this one off as well. I know it's easy enough to get off, but just to take these two screws off here, just so that's not in the way. It's designed so that the belt for that power flow kind of stays in that groove like that. So to put the power flow on, obviously you got to have that off because we're going to utilize this top pulley here to drive the power flow. So that's what we'll start with, is putting the power flow on. Okay, so like I said, this is a brand new power flow unit. I haven't used it yet. And there's a couple things. So you got the arm over here, which is going to get mounted into this bracket here that they add onto the deck. And then there's a pin, I'll have to turn this around, that goes through over here, which keeps the power flow kind of level on the deck. So this is this pin right here is what's going to line up with this hole right here. They also have to notch out the chute here, or the shield cover, whatever you want to call that, for the belt or whatever. So we'll mount this on the deck and go from there. I also took this cover off. So there's a spring-loaded cover that keeps a cover on here flat. I'm not sure why that's on there. I guess they don't want you putting your hand in here, but if you're operating the mower, you shouldn't be able to put your hand in there with the deck on because of the safety features. Obviously, if you defeat those safety features, you could. I'm not sure why you would run just the power flow without a chute, because that's just going to blow grass all over you. So I just take that off because it's way easier to get the actual the pipe or the chute that goes to the bagging unit on. I'm not sure why else they'd have that on there otherwise, but it makes it a ton easier. That, and if for some reason you block it up, you can easily just pop off the chute and then clean it out. Alright, so it is easier if you have two people, but it's definitely doable with one. So you need to make sure that your chute is popped up there, your shield, and then kind of lift it up and then line this up with the hole here to get that on. And then there is like a notch in that pin so it can't drop. I've done it both ways, where I've put it on this way, or I've put the rod on first. If you put the rod on first, it just seems like it's a little bit more difficult to get the power flow to line up. So, and then in this way, you'll see that it kind of swings like this. So you want to make sure that this gets to the outside of the deck, because if you try to put it on here, you'll have an issue with the pin lining up. So you need to kind of swing it and make sure that it's on the outside. I don't know if you can see that or not. It needs to be on the outside of the deck. Yeah, I think you can see that. And then when we bring it around, it's got to go in that pin. So what I'm talking about here is this part here needs to be on the outside of the deck. The belt, you're just going to want to keep that out of the way. And then you see this pin here needs to go into that hole, and you may need to lift it because this plastic piece needs to sit on the deck. And just kind of line it up, and now it's mounted to the actual the deck there, and the chute just kind of hangs out. Actually, this chute looks like it. Oh, that ain't right. I don't know, I didn't think my last one, the chute, was up that high. I thought the chute sat on the inside of this, like that. So basically what keeps the power flow on the machine from falling off is going to be the belt, and you got a lever for that. So this lever right here is your tension lever. So if it's all the way forward, your belt is going to be loose, and then you're going to just kind of work the belt on. You should be able to do it by hand. Make sure your pin is back in the deck, and then you're going to pull this back, which is going to put tension on the belt, and that's what keeps the power flow attached to the actual deck. I know it's kind of an odd setup. So there's a closer look of how that goes on there. And this is what I was talking about. The deck here, or the chute, was sitting on top of this. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to sit on the inside of that so that it's not way up in the air. And you'll know if you got the lever engaged for tension because you won't get the belt on the actual pulley. It'll be too tight. And if for some reason you do twist the belt, if you know, because when you take this off it's kind of wonky. If you got a twist in the belt where it's actually blowing the blower the opposite direction, you'll know that too, because you won't be collecting any grass. You'll just be leaving grass on the ground. It won't. It definitely won't work as well. So I'm not sure that you can do that with these. I know on the older units you could put it on wrong so that you're blowing the blower the wrong way or operating it in the wrong direction. So, and then the last part is to put on the actual bags in the chute. This is pretty easy as well. So the actual bags are going to mount on the pins here. So you have a pin on this side here. There's a pin over on this side. And then there's just some like hooks on there. And these you want to make sure that they're on the out. You want these out because you're going to engage those once you get your arms in there. So we'll go to that next. Okay, so you see how these bottom pieces are going to sit on those pins that stick out, and they stick on the outside of the frame here. So the way I do it is I kind of lift it up a little bit. You get that started. So now both sides, maybe you can't see that, both sides are engaged. So they're sitting on that pin. And then this top part here goes into there. And this is where you can lift it up from the back. There's actually some handholds right here and here. And all you're gonna do is lift it up. And again, it works better if you have two people. So you're gonna lift it up and it just cranks itself in. Now it's still not locked into position. You need to loosen that pin and then it'll kind of click into place. I'll show you the other one here. Sometimes they don't click in. Then what I'll do is I'll just grab the back of this and kind of up and down with it until you hear it click. So here's that pin and we have it disengaged. So now I let it go, but obviously it's not in, so I'm gonna shake the deck a little bit. And there, now it's in. So you can see it's bottomed out on that roll pin there. So that's what holds the catch system, I guess, or whatever they call this. I mean, it's the bags, the hopper maybe. Whew. So that's what that looks like when it's on there. And to put the chute on, that's pretty simple too. All right, so the chute, it only really goes on one way. And the easiest way to do that is to put it through the hopper, and then you're gonna line it up with the power flow here. Put it on. Also on the chute, they're gonna have a really wonky, I don't even know, it's not a clip, it's a real awkward thing that's, it's easy to get it clipped, but it's almost impossible to get it unclipped. And that goes down in this hole here. Again, I just take that off because if for some reason you do block the bagger, all you have to do is pull back on this and you can pop it right out. That pin is really a pain. I know my dad takes his off too, because it's so much easier just to take it off, and it saves you time, because otherwise I think you need either a pliers or something, a screwdriver, just to pry, because there's so much tension on that. And I don't know why. Again, it's not like this chute is gonna come off, and it's, you know, this is just on a bungee here, so it's not like I'm pulling back as hard as I can. It's not gonna come off of that. So I don't know what their plan with that was, but I take that off. There's just some stuff you can take off that I feel you don't need. I will take this grass out of here, but I'm just going to show you. So the cover goes back on here. Get it past everything, and then you're just going to kind of push it into place, and you'll see that it's underneath that metal piece there, the little plastic tabs, and then this should, yeah, it should push down. There's like a slot here, and this just pushes in, and then to pull it up, there's the slot. So if you don't have it right, you'll know, because this won't have any resistance when you try to lift it off. And you know, this is where that belt then comes through. That's why this is on here. So otherwise your belt would be exposed. So there's really not too much to it. It's a pretty simple, basic setup. I take it on and off all the time just because it doesn't take long. It takes longer to get the grass out of the bags because it packs in those bags so well than it does just take the unit on and off. Take it off, it's pretty simple too. There is one step that's a little different. So in the back here, you'll see this silver rod here. So what you need to do with that, after you pull your pins on either side, those top pins that we had to disengage, so you pull these back out, you disengage them, and then what you have to do is push down. So you kind of lift up on the grass catcher and push on this, and that releases so that it'll drop down. This whole unit drops out of those top pins, and then all you have to do is kind of like lift it up, and then you can just set it down and drive the machine away. So you don't have to physically like lift this off those pins. You drop it from the top, the whole thing rotates backwards, and then all you have to do is you kind of just on the back tilt it up enough so that you can drive the machine away, or just slide this out of the way. So that's nice. It doesn't require any physical effort. So like I said, there's not much to it. Most of John Deere's stuff is usually well thought out, and most of it is usually toolless. They try to do it so that you can just do it with your hands without any specialty tools or anything like that. So that's nice. So, all right, that's gonna be it for now.